Sonic 3 movie review. And it's cold outside, so I'm a little shivering, but it's good. Right off the bat, it's good. It's a good movie. I like that John and what's her name? Maddie? I guess her name's Madeline. They don't have much screen time. Actually, they really are like side characters in this film, right? They don't have much screen time. But oh my god, what was I gonna say? What was I thinking in my head? What was I thinking in my head? The Eggman. We get his introduction early on in the film. I was thinking maybe midway through the film he comes in, but no, he comes in pretty early actually. We get to the action very early in the film, which I like. I do like that aspect. We don't waste no time. We're here to see Sonic fight and do this shit. Apparently this is number 3. I don't recall there being, I'm pretty sure I've seen the other 2 films, although I don't remember them much. But yeah, so Knuckles is there and Tails. Maybe I didn't see number 2. Maybe that's why. Maybe I've only seen number 1 and I didn't see 2, and that's why it's confusing to me. Although I know, because I think in one of the films, Dr. Eggman, he gets vanished to some planet, but apparently he makes his way back. And then with this film, we also get some more insight into the henchman guy, and I guess it makes sense that he would be fond of him. Would say I guess we're kind of I would think of you as a friend, but I'm in a way I'm not, because you work with somebody for so long, they're a civil servant. It's like this funny dynamic. It reminds me of the American Literature, I think it's called. That film with that lady. She's not it's not a family member. It's not particularly a friend. It's your hired help. But it's this odd, you kind of have this relationship with this person because they're still a human being with emotions and they're complex as like you are. It's a funny, I like that dynamic, right? And we see I guess it ends nicely, ends happily in some regard, because he makes a little message with the guy. He even calls him to tell him, hey, I won't be there. I like when he says that to him, I won't be there to protect you. The whatever his name was, I don't even remember what his name was. But he said, you're the best henchman ever. But he calls him earlier before that whole, when he's in the spaceship thing, he'd say hey, I think that guy's not being honest with you. I don't think you just get him. I know he's kind of playing on your emotion, manipulating you to some degree. But I just don't think he's being 100% honest with you and genuine. And of course he writes him off because the movie says he has to. But then he comes to the realization that, what he did. Actually, he even tells him, because he said, oh, you're no Maria. Because Shadow, he had this what was that? Maria was his granddaughter. Shadow was very close to the granddaughter because she showed him kindness. She was a friend to him, and so he was very close to that girl. And so when she died in that explosion incident, which wasn't even, it happened because of oh my god, what was it? I guess they were trying to escape out at the facility because he was unhappy there. He's being locked up and being studied on. This movie's filmed in Norway. There's had some filming in Norway, and it makes sense when you look at these vast mountains. I said, because there's some shots where and of course it has CGI and computer editing, so okay, well, they can make it look that way, because it also looks like it'd be Central Asia, but then Central Asia is a lot of steppe plateaus. I don't know, but you if you see the film, geography, perhaps you can get it, and it's just a little pet peeve, I guess. But I'm watching the film, oh yeah, that's definitely filmed in Norway. That makes sense why the mountains so vast and in these large mountains, these large imposing mountains. But what was I thinking of in my head? I was thinking of something. Don't quite remember it at the moment. But yeah, this film was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it very much. And what else I was gonna say about the dynamic? I like that Knuckles talks. I like how the way he talks. He talks kind of oddly. He's got this way of speaking. I like the way that he speaks and his voice, the sound of his voice. Keanu Reeves voices Shadow, and I don't think they ever really explain why does Shadow look like Sonic. Does he happen to be another hedgehog? He just happens to have a similar appearance to him. What's the deal with that? I don't recall them really explaining why he looks similar to him, but he does, right? And then towards the end, this film has 2 post-credit scenes. And one of them comes up right after the animated credits, right? Every movie does this, right? A lot of movies do this. Not every movie, but like a lot of movies would do this. The animation credits, and then you have a scene after that, and people will stay because they're like, okay, I know there's gonna be an additional scene. But then if you wait till the end of the credits in this film, so that in that scene we see they introduce a girl character, because I was thinking that in my head. I said, wasn't there a female character? I guess it was like Sonic's girlfriend or love interest. There was definitely a female one, and we get that introduction, so we know there's gonna be a Sonic 4, and the girl character is gonna have some part in it. Not in Dr. Eggman. I think he is dead for sure. Like, Shadow's gonna return, so Keanu Reeves maybe comes back, voices Shadow again, because the last or the second post credit scene has that little teaser there. They give you that teaser with that, so you know, like, okay, you know, they're gonna come back, they're gonna make an appearance. But what was I thinking of in my head? What was I thinking of in my head? Can't quite remember at the moment. What was it? Shadow making an appearance. Yeah, don't no Dr. Eggman. But it's kind of fitting because he sacrifices himself for the greater good. He says, if I can't rule the world, I might as well save it. I like his character development in the film. I do appreciate that aspect of it. I like when we see him in the beginning, like, and when we first get introduced, he's watching a soap opera. He has his doctor, his little egg thing, like that's his baby, right? He said, "That's my baby," a little egg robot machine thing, and he orders, he's like a microwave inside burrito, and it looks gross, and someone in the crowd said, "Ugh," because it looked nasty, and then it and like that, like, shits out sauces on his burrito, but he only takes one bite, then he throws the fucking thing, and he's got trash and litter everywhere. Like, this guy let himself go, man. This guy, my goodness. And then, like, we actually learn his henchman's actually pretty badass, and he only has one henchman. He has the one henchman, and then I guess robotic entities or whatever that can help him in his mission, help aid his mission. There's an organization called Gun. I thought that was funny. It's getting ultra nasty, and that was supposed to be funny. That scene was supposed to be funny when she's like impersonating her sister, and her sister, I guess, is really sassy, and they had that. I seen that guy. I think I've seen him in St. Jude commercials. I don't know what that actor's name is. I've definitely seen him before in other stuff. But yeah, like, I guess that's also a relative of hers or whatever. I like when, you know, Tom is doing the, I keep thinking it's John, because like he has, like, this actor does similar character roles in animated family type, like a live action, but it's animated characters like Hop. I think he's in Hop, and he has almost a similar role in Hop, where he's a mentor to the bunny and stuff. And he kind of reminds me of whoever the guy is that plays in the Alvin the Chipmunk. I think that's the dude from My Name is Earl. I think that's the same guy that plays with Alvin the Chipmunk, whatever his name is. But, you know, that's that role of, like, mentoring the not there creature thing, animated thing. But anyway, what was I thinking of in my head? I was thinking of something, and I can't quite find it. I keep losing that track of thought. I don't want this video to be too long. I want it to be, it's already 8 minutes, actually. I can ramble and not realize right now, like, oh my god, I rambled for that long. My goodness. But what was I thinking? My mind was searching. I was finding something in my mind, and I can't quite think about what I was finding at the moment. Oh my god. Yeah, it's escaping me right now, but Dr. Eggman, he's dead. They don't have any kids. So I guess Sonic and the gang, because I guess they live with them, they are their kids in a way. Where they take the spot of the kids, and they have the dog. I think the dog's name is Ollie or Ozzy. They do this thing in the movie where the dog barks, and it'll be like, hey, the dog's telling you, I want love too. I like when you can see it coming. There's a funny scene where he has this puppet, and she said, I told you to get rid of that thing. It's creepy. And he makes the puppet says to her, yeah, I told him to get rid of you. Like, really? Man, I told him to throw you away. Shit. But obviously, he's the one that, he said it was just on point, on spot. It's funny, it's cheeky. And her reaction to it is, like, kind of perfect, right? She gets pissed and, like, motherfucker, you're in so much trouble. And, I thought, and then, so of course, when he does, that's what I was getting back. The head change. The scene where they're in the secret headquarters, they're changing the heads. Apparently, there's no cameras in the hallways, I guess, because you can just change back. You can come out of your disguise and, like, boom, that's it. Nobody notices. But how do you call the head starts changing. The dog, the head becomes the dog, the puppet. His head shrinks, it grows big. His ears, his lips. That was a funny. I like that use of the, like, kind of slapstick humor. That was cute to me. That was a cute scene. And then the commander girl, she's not, I thought maybe she'll be like a villain type person, but no, she's under the impression that, no, you're not. Eggman, they're a villain, but also Sonic, they're also a villain too. She's under the impression that they're a villain as well, because, so, like, with Gun, it's like kind of a questionable relationship, I guess, in that very moment, of, like, what's going on. And then that means that guy, he really did die. Professor or General, whatever the fuck his name was. Like, in that scene in Japan, in Garden Chow or whatever it was, or Chow Garden, he did die, actually. So he's like, oh, and it's like a classic death. He's talking to them and he's like, oh. But yeah, he did die. And then what else? I was thinking of in my head. I was thinking of something. But it was, yeah, I like when she hands the key to him. And he's like, well, you're not dead? Okay, well, I'm going to obey my order. They hand you the key there. They're able to walk out and go to the ambulance, but they're not being apprehended. I guess his organization, it's like, it's in Japan, it's in the UK. They fly them, they go out to the United States to pick them up. So, like, this organization's got to be, like, international, right? Then you break into the facility, aren't you like an international fugitive, maybe, But of course, movie law, you can't question it, right? I like when he sees his it broadcasts on the screen, and that's when he can see how do you call what was I thinking of in my head? The screen gets broadcast and he can see himself on the screen, and freaking, oh my gosh, I had on the tip of my, he's able to see the henchman guy's able to see him in London, and then, like, they showed Japan, they showed New York. I like that they even show the places, that the only 3 countries that we went to in the film, theoretically, in this film, and they show, like, on the screen, holy god, the gun headquarters secret lab thing has been trounced into space, and, like, everyone gets a shelter because some shit's about to go down. When it explodes, it makes this beautiful galaxy image in the sky, and that's really nice. It's kind of like, wow, his death did not come in vain. It came in beauty, right? And then another thing with the film, there was another thing in the film that I enjoyed, and I just had it in my head, and I kind of lost it just now. So maybe I'll just wrap it up here, because I don't know if I'm going to remember that part. What was I gonna say? I was literally about to. Oh yeah, they cut the moon in half. They cut the moon, not even like a half. Like, they like the kind of a bottom, whatever, 2/3 or something. Like, you can see in the film they cut a good chunk in the moon, even though it's like just the kind of the bottom of it. But they did cut a good chunk, or like, actually, yeah, there wasn't even close. Well, almost half of the moon, almost close to that. Like, what would be kind of a half center way, but. So, like, they saved the world, but the world's still fucked, theoretically, because I'm pretty sure the moon is important. It plays a very important role, at least in the oceans, and probably other things in our worlds. I mean, who knows how long have the moon existed aside Earth, and the effect that it will have on Earth, being that it has existed on Earth for so long. But, you just gotta say, hey, you know what, this film... And then when he crashes down to Earth, they crash in, like, this random cornfield. I'm guessing it's in the United States or whatever. Somewhere. Well, it doesn't matter, actually, where it is, because they run really fast. So wherever they crash, it's all good, right? It doesn't... They'll be like, hey, we're straight. Like, we'll just run back to our home. And I like that Shadow's alive. And I'm guessing... I don't think he's going to be a villain anymore. He's going to be a good guy. And there's going to be a new villain. That whoever built the robots is the new villain. Because Shadow, he has to change a heart with Sonic in that moment. And Because Sonic becomes like Shadow. He said, "Wow, you became like me, all angry and bitter and upset with the world. You became what I've been, man. You became me, this angry, bitter, spiteful person." And indeed, that's what happened with Sonic. He became that person, evil, and bitter, and nasty, and all that stuff. But what was I thinking of in my head? Can't quite. I think that's about it. I mean, this one was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it very much. It was a good movie. I definitely recommend it. It was a nice watch. And I think the crowd, people clapped at the end of the film. I think it was solid. It kept me entertained, kept me grounded. It was constantly revolving. There wasn't any slow moments in the film. It wasn't slow building. Like, it was like, okay, this is good. It's keeping a good pace, keeping me entertained. The dance scene between Jim Carrey, like, the performance here is awesome. I love his performance. And then when he got this Papa character, and we get some nice stuff with him, the whole montage of the virtual world hanging out together, that was good. And freaking fucking, when they're doing their dance together with the laser, that was good. Like, this film's good. It's good. It's a nice film. Definitely recommend it. Sonic 3. Yeah. Thank you for listening to my review.